Welcome, boys and girls, teenagers, young people, to another faith story with Pastor M&M. This story is about a young man, about 16 years old. His name is LB. LB lived in the early 1900s. And when he was 16, he noticed that his body hurts more and more in different spots. And his parents took him to the doctors, but the doctors could not help him. And the parents spent a lot of money trying to heal their son, but LB was not getting better. So at one point, somebody told LB that there's a prophetess who lives on the other side of the town, and if you go to her, and if she prays for you, you will be healed. And LB said, no, if the doctors can't help, how can a prophetess help with a prayer? But after running out of all the other options, he decided, what does he have to lose? So he got on his bicycle and he rode to the other side of town and he looked up the address of the prophetess. And when he goes up to the house, he was curious to see what kind of house does the prophetess have. And he knocks on the door, but nobody opens the door. And so he's peeking in through the window to see what does the house of a prophetess look like. But there was nobody there. So he goes around the house to the back to see the back of the house. Maybe she's back there. And when he gets to the back of the house, yes, to his surprise, there was a prophetess, a woman, older woman. She was kneeling in the garden, working with her flowers and vegetables there. And it so happened that she noticed him at the same time. So she got up, she dusted off her clothes and walked right over and said, "May I help you?" And LB said, "I'm looking for the prophetess." And she said, "Well, I am the prophetess." LB said when he heard that he's standing face to face with a prophetess, he forgot everything he needed to say or why he was there. But she was so kind and meek, and she began to ask him questions. "What is your name, young man?" And he said, "My name is LB." And she said, "Well, what can I do for you, LB?" And LB begins to tell her the story of how somebody said to come here, but she interrupted him. And she said, "LB, you're not well. You're sick." And LB said, "Wow, I didn't tell her about my sickness. She didn't know me. She knew. She's a real prophetess." And then she continued to tell him, "LB, you're going to die soon unless you change your diet." And LB said, "Whoa, I knew I was sick, but I didn't know I was that sick. I'm dying." And this prophetess, she said, "LB, no problem. You have to stop eating. You have trichinosis. You have to stop eating all that meat. And I'm going to tell you something different to eat. I'll give you a recipe. You go home, tell your mother to make this for you, and you will be well." And then she begins to tell him the recipe. But after a while, she noticed that Albie's a 16-year-old teenager. And she said, "Albie, you're not going to remember that recipe, will you?" And he said, "No, ma'am." So then she offered something else. She said, "Albie, if you come to my house tomorrow at this time, I will teach you how to cook." Albie was so excited. The prophetess is going to teach him how to cook. The following day, he was there on the dot. And he began his cooking lessons. Well, what happened to LB? He learned how to eat healthy, how to eat what was good for his body, and LB got healed. He didn't die. He lived to be in his 80s. And after he finished his cooking lessons and he practiced it, he moved on and he opened a vegetarian restaurant in Los Angeles. And he was telling everybody that the prophetess taught him to cook. And he was so proud of the fact as he was serving vegetarian dishes and a vegetarian meatloaf, vegetarian steak, and so many other vegetarian options. Because, young people, the Bible says in the 3rd epistle of John and verse 2, Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. You see, God does not only care about our spiritual well-being, God cares about our physical well-being. He wants us to be healthy, to be well, and to be happy without any pain in our bodies. And the Bible also says that when we get to heaven, we're going to be eating so much fruit. The tree of life will give fresh fruit every month. And of course, on top of that, all the fruits and vegetables that we plant in our own gardens. So learn today, young people, to eat healthy. Eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, because God cares about your well-being. And when we do that, we will be healthy, happy, and we're going to live a longer life. And we get to enjoy all the great fruits and vegetables of heaven. This is the story today. I hope that you have been blessed. Until next time with more faith stories with Pastor M&M, God bless you.